honestly, analog night vision, which is what we're all using, like the intensifier tubes, those are just getting better and better. So, like, for example, L3, they're able to produce such good night vision tubes now, and in quantities that people can get their hands on, versus like we made a batch of, like, let's say 100, right? But only 2 of them are amazing. Everything else is trash, or like 30% of them are literal, like, those we can use, and then like the rest 70% we have to like recycle and do it again. And that's how it used to be, and now it's gotten so good that it's a huge, like 98% or whatever they calling it, is going to be like what we can actually use. And there's still a small percentage of like unobtainable night vision that's like, geez, these are amazing, but they're being saved for certain peoples.
Yeah.
But that's the cool part about it. They've just refined their manufacturing process so well that we're able to get night vision that is pretty dang good.
That's probably my next big.
That would have been my first hurricane, but I was not here.
Nice.
Well, Ted Cruz went to Mexico.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
like-
one way to do it.
Goes to Canada, and then he's all like asking about stuff. I was like, dude, if you wanted to know about the hurricane, you should have fucking stayed. Like,
He just wants to know if his house is going to be there when he gets back.
he's like, what's going on? Where's gas? I'm like, you're still in Canada, dude. Like,
I'm going to be here eventually, though.
eventually, it took you long enough to get back.
Listen, thanks, United.
That was
And Barrel and
Dude,
Delta.
I was flying out Tuesday. I think I told you this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The lines for regular TSA was like all the way out the door, and it took me like 30, 45 minutes just to drop my bag off.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was.
I would have just drove.
Yeah, I thought about it. It's like, fuck.
So from all the flights that were canceled Monday and people
Yeah.
trying to get back in and out.
Yeah, because like everyone that was like, I guess flew in either got stuck there or everything got pushed back till Tuesday. Yeah. It's like everyone was trying to get.
That's
out
what my
at
problem
once.
was, is that there was.
Yeah, he
no,
couldn't even get a flight into Houston.
Yeah, I couldn't get in till Wednesday.
Dang.
Did you end up? How far out did you book your
Flight?
no? Where you're staying at?
3 weeks?
Okay, so you're
4
good.
weeks.
You got.
Yeah.
Does it have power, or do you know?
It does. It looks like the power went out a few times because the hallways are hot as fuck.
Yeah.
They
I
probably
walked in,
just
I was
got-
like, oh, it's outside still. It's weird.
probably just got power back.
Yeah. They had a sign there that like there's no open rooms, so I'm assuming people are
Oh wow.
like it's booked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's right there in Conroe, like the Hampton Inn or whatever.
Yeah, right there on 45.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Like 15, 16 minutes from here. So, but yeah, I thought about getting an Airbnb like I did last time, and then I'm like, wait, people kind of got fucked up with hurricane. I'll go to the hotel this time
Yeah.
just to play it safe.
Good deal, man. We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, dude, it's I actually like coming to Texas. It's like Florida but wider. You know, like you still get like Texas man and Florida man are pretty much the same thing. So you guys just don't ride alligators. You guys got bulls or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys have, but
We have alligators.
oh,
Not-
down
not as-
south.
Yeah, not as
Oh,
much.
not here.
Yeah.
But not
There's
as
one in
much
our
as
neighborhood.
Florida.
Last flood that we got, like there's an alligator just like walking through somebody's yard.
Nice.
A little bitty
There's
one, but
they posted a picture of one at the ranch the other day. They'd spotted it.
Nice.
Yeah, so we have them.
yeah.
They're just not everywhere.
it's
No,
not Florida man levels.
they're not in every body of water.
Yeah.
Period.
You're not gonna randomly wake up to one in your pool.
In your pool or try and get in your front door.
Yeah.
Actually, the first alligator I ever saw and touched and wrestled was in my pool, and had to get it out of my pool because my mom wasn't going to do it. I was like, "So you're going to let your son do it? This is great, Mom."
Thanks, Mom.
Like, Mom,
I'm like
12.
Yeah, I was 10.
Get tough or die, man.
10, man.
man.
She's like, figure it out. All right. I guess Florida man is also Florida boy.
Yeah.
So it's same. Interesting times. It wasn't too big. It was probably like the size of my leg. Like his
Currently
body.
or then.
No, currently.
Okay, so it was big for a 10-year-old.
It's definitely big for a 10-year-old. It probably
you
weighed
wouldn't
as
have
much
caught
as
me fucking chasing an alligator.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. As long as you get their mouth, you're good.
Yeah, this would have been Ian.
Well, you got to be stronger.
Well,
Ian's grabbing him by the tail.
yeah.
This will work out.
Help.
I didn't know they could reach all the way back.
Just like a snake.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone iguana hunting?
Yes.
That looks like a very...
So you could shoot them under nods if you find out where they're bedding down, which is usually up in a tree. With a 22, super easy.
Yeah, it's just-
Yeah, you just like just killing iguanas all over the place. Cats in the neighborhood, all the time. You're not supposed to, apparently.
Frowned upon.
Yeah.
HOA doesn't like that.
They actually had a duck problem in my old HOA.
duck problem?
A duck problem. Like, we had just too many ducks, and they were shitting in the community pool. And it was like, well, we need to figure something out at the HOA meeting. And I was like, I'm down. Like, I'll take care of them. They're like, oh, you remove ducks? I'm like, sure.
Yeah, technically, yes.
I could do that. Like, they're like, do you have a company? I'm like, yes.
John's Duck Services.
So I sent them an invoice for what I would charge, and I was like, I don't know what I would charge, but the HOA I know has a lot of money.
Yeah.
I have to
get some of
pay
these
it.
dues back, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I could get 5 years worth of dues, maybe. So I gave them an invoice for an extraordinary, like a huge amount, and they were like, okay, we could swing that. I'm like, all right, awesome. So I'll start getting rid of them, and I'll let you know when I've got a good amount or whatever. And they're like, okay, yeah. Can we kind of come see how you're doing it? I'm like, I don't know if you want to see how I'm doing it. And apparently they found out how I was planning on doing it, which was with a 22. They did not like that idea. And apparently it's also kind of illegal. So you can't do that.
Only if you get caught.
Yeah, only if you get caught. But either way, they stopped it before I got to start it. But man, I wanted to kill a bunch of ducks. That would have been awesome.
There was some place around here that somebody got in trouble for removing them after dark with a high-powered pellet gun. Like, I can remember, like, there was some issues on Facebook about it, and it was one of those things like they had quoted
A lot
them.
of ducks.
Yeah, like I'm like, what's the problem?
It's duck season, right? It's always duck season.
They need to do something with the coyotes. That's what we have.
Yeah,
an
we
issue
hear them
with.
yapping up.
Yeah, but those guys you can shoot any time, right? You don't need a hunting license for it.
I don't think so.
Not in our. I mean, like we can't in the neighborhood. You can't just.
Well, it's frowned upon.
Frowned.
Again.
It was attacking my dog.
Yeah.
What dog?
I
The
shot
dog
it
that
for
was
6
there.
hours.
Need to get suppressed way too for.
You definitely get away with it. 22. My neighbors never woke up and called the cops on me, so definitely kill a lot of things with that thing. And then we have like a bunch of invasive species.
Yeah.
In South Florida, like I'm sure you guys do too. But there's this lionfish that people actually take and shoot with guns underwater. It's actually pretty impressive. There's a really good video of some dude with like Glock 17 with like a 16-inch barrel shooting lionfish like at, I don't know, a couple feet away from each other. But he's schwacking these things. It's kind of cool.
There's this one account I follow. They're always spear gunning them.
Yeah. You could kill as many as you want.
Yeah, they're just out there like all day, just like shooting them like crazy.
I want to do the air rifle iguana safari. Yeah. That'd be fun.
Did you know Australia has a camel problem?
A camel problem?
Yeah, like they have like an invasive camel problem.
Yep.
Like how we have hogs and they smoke camels out of like helicopters and jeeps by like the bucket full.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
thought they didn't have guns over there anymore.
Camels are huge too. Like it's,
Yeah, go on
Shooting
YouTube.
horses.
One of the random YouTube videos I stumbled upon is like this camel exterminator dude, and he just one shots
Just mowing
camel.
down
Yeah,
cam-
bro,
I'm the camelator.
It's did not know that was a thing. It is a thing.
4570. What's he using?
He had I'd be lying if I told you some rifle, and he was just and the camels were just
Dude,
like, wow,
that's
okay.
actually kind of cool.
Like did not know that was even a thing.
And if you shoot them in the
Apparently it is.
hump, do they like leak?
They're just like
No, it's actually not water in those. If you ever look it up, I did. It's just a big ball of fat.
oh really?
Yeah,
oh no, I'm disappointed.
I know.
I thought it was just like a big water sack.
I thought it was like a water bladder. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
So the camelback is just a fucking lie then.
yeah,
False advertising.
I'm
Lawsuit.
suing them.
lawsuit. I'm not a
quit.
camel now.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we talk about it.
Nowadays, you'd probably win too. All the people suing people.
Like the Red Bull thing from a while back about Red Bull giving you wings.
Oh, and somebody sued about that?
Yeah. There's a whole big class action thing. So now like Red Bull, it says gives you wings, but spelled with 3 I's. If you look at it.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's a big lawsuit. And you could claim it like but you'd have to go in there, like you'd have to sign this document saying that I really thought that Red Bull would give me wings, and then you get like your $2.85 or whatever from the class action lawsuit.
That's what that.
I want Red Bull to pay me.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
there's probably like 5 or 6 years ago, but there's a huge thing.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, and now like all their advertising it's spelled with 3 I's.
That's funny. That's kind of like the 3M thing for all the veterans and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like everybody was sitting. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Like that's such a waste of your time.
You're going to get $17.
Well, yeah, and that's
If
the thing.
that.
It's like the law firm, the attorneys make the money. Like you're getting like next to nothing, but they're
Dollars. Yeah.
they're raking it in big time.
Yeah. You're just helping somebody else make more money.
Attorneys.
Yeah,
People these days.
I know. For those that don't know, Chris is married to a very successful attorney.
Yeah. Thankfully, I kind of wish she was in frivolous lawsuits. She'd make a lot more money.
Yeah,
Maybe.
just have her start some class actions.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
If
see
you or
Camelback.
been affected by
Mesothelioma. Have you worked in a shipyard recently, Chris?
No, I haven't. But she's actually
You'll get
friends
hired
with,
at a shipyard. Then you can.
Yeah.
She knows the lady that's suing the Navy over the fuel tanks in Hawaii and that.
Oh,
whole deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where the fuel tanks were like leaking on the.
the water.
Yeah.
No
into
way.
Yeah, they were
People
like.
were like drinking water with JP8 in it.
Yeah. And like
That's super
showering
good for you.
and
Yeah, it's
bathing
super good for it. It's not.
does not give you wings.
So
Just-
much cancer.
Just gives you cancer.
Cancer.
It's all cancer.
Yeah.
Probably get some AIDS too because it's the Navy. So.
So you're up here for class this
actually-
weekend, right? So actually, I think we're good for a introduction.
Oh yeah. So if you stuck with us this far, thank you first of all for listening to our incoherent ramblings. Yeah, we're here with Jon from Kinetic Consulting. I'm Mike. We got Chris. We got Ian. Jon's here doing some class this weekend. It's Friday today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
tomorrow's
literally
Friday.
have no idea what day
Dude,
it
this
is.
week is like smoked. The hurricane. I was in Utah for like 2 days. Coming back. Yeah. I don't know what day it is.
You were like in Utah for like 56 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
if that. You were there.
I woke up at 4:00 to catch my flight back. Anyways,
It's like
we're
6
here.
o'clock.
John's got a class tomorrow and Sunday. It's a 2-day class.
Red dot, right? Mm-hmm. Just your standard red dot class.
It's essentially just a handgun class. It's still marketed as red dot because people still like take that in, but I think we should start shifting that because there's no difference. Like I teach the handgun class the same way I teach a red dot class. The only I guess the only thing that would be a nuance is just talking about like taking care of your red dot better. So for peeps that don't have it or have never done that before, don't know how to take care of it, that's the only thing. But I've gotten to the point where I've put so many videos out that I'd rather send those to the students instead of waste time in class where we could be doing shooting and we can learn how to shoot better with 2 ERs.
Well, like when you take when you're doing a handgun class, how what's the ratio of students that don't have a red dot, I guess, to those?
It's really low now.
Yeah.
So like looking at it or looking back at like 5-6 years ago, it was like 2 to 3 out of like your 12 to 15 students would have like red dots. And I was still teaching with iron sights just because there were so many still. Actually, probably longer than 5 years, probably like 7 or 8 years. And then it just started getting bigger and bigger. And then it turned into like half and half. And now if I have one with irons, it's like because it's issued to them and they don't have red dots at work yet. Or it's because that guy is just not willing to change yet.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the class, he's like, well, I'm gonna get a red dot. Like, I've convinced or we've bullied them into buying a red dot after class because it's just ridiculous not to have one at this point. I get a lot of new shooters that don't even know how to use the irons on their guns because they start off with a red dot and that's all they use. And honestly, at this point, you probably don't even need the irons. Like I have a couple guns that don't have irons because I lost them. Like they fell off through shooting. And I'm not going to buy another set of iron sights and throw onto this gun to lose again.
I don't think Josh has iron sights on his Glock.
Yeah, I've
Brendan
lost
might
so
not either.
many. Yeah, like you lose them all the time. So especially that front sight, man.
Yeah.
She likes to fly away.
I've had it jet off tons of times.
I've had
But they never fail.
never, but they just like to slide off. Like the rear ones, at least on a Glock, anything with a dovetail, they'll start to like shimmy themselves off, and you're like, you guys are committing suicide on your own. They're telling us what they want, and that's not to be on the guns, essentially.
Yeah, they don't want to be there.
I will say I still keep irons like on my carry gun, right? Out of the sake of like, what if? But man, the last time I've actually shot with them is really rare. Now, the other thing is like, I do still like irons to a certain extent on like iron only guns, but it's only red fiber optic front ones with blacked out rears because I could use it like a red dot.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Like, I was running the Frank Proctor ones on the Glock. Like that's love that. So.
I still have the prototype Frank Proctor ones before they became Y notches.
Oh yeah,
they're still squares on one of my guns at home because Frank and I were good friends.
Yeah,
so. He's still teaching. He's just he just doesn't have like a super big.
He doesn't push a lot of stuff.
Presence, does he?
No, he had his main account was like stolen for a while, and he had to fight with Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Meta something, to get it back. Finally got it back, but his second one that he started making was starting to grow, so now he has two that are decent. But Frank is one of those dudes. I would suggest anybody that's curious about learning something new on handgun or rifle, like go visit him, or like you guys should host him, kind of thing, because he's such a solid guy. The first class I went to with him, he corrected so many things that I got from the military, because I was still in the military at the time, like just like rode over there, slept in my car kind of thing. And he fixed so many things that was ridiculous. I was like, geez, I know nothing. I was Jon Snow.
I saw a post, I think in that, was a deliberate training group. Are you in that? It's like a training group. Somebody invited me in. It's actually pretty good. There's a bunch of really good instructors in there. Mark Smith post in there. I think, what's the little dude? Tim Herron. Tim Herron runs the group, right?
The little dude.
Like,
he's such a good dude.
He's such a good dude.
Oh,
but fuck that guy.
Yeah. I was waiting for somebody to say it. Somebody had to say it.
Somebody has to say it. But in that group, somebody posted about a Frank Proctor class, and he was like, this was the most unstructured, awesome class I've ever been to. We like literally, he's like, we started shooting and somebody had a problem, and Frank then taught like a whole segment
off that problem.
Yeah. And then he's like, but that leads me into these three problems. So let's do this and fixed it. And then he's like, okay, now go explore and come up with other problems. And it was like, it was the most unstructured, but best class he's ever been to. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Honestly, that's something that happens sometimes. So depending on your teacher, right? Like you'll have like curriculum that you want to cover, but like if people aren't catching up, you have to kind of modify or stay on a subject for a little longer and then have to steer them in a different direction. Or you have dudes that are just really squared away and they start like, they're picking up on things. So then you start pushing the curriculum even further and you're like, you know what? We can kind of elaborate on this. Like y'all aren't retarded. We can go farther. And it's actually kind of cool. It's a lot of fun. I like a flexible plan like that versus being very rigid and like, got to go by the binder, or whatever. I don't know if people put them in binders anymore, but either way. That's how I see it. And so that's probably like whenever I get like a teaching moment like that, like I love them. I love it. So I had some dudes bolt his actual bolt, not the carrier, but the bolt part, break in half.
Oh snap!
And
where the cam pin goes?
Yeah, and the name of the company rhymes with Noveski, and I just kidding. It was pretty funny. So it broke, and the bolt head was stuck in the chamber.
Have an Instagram post about that?
Yeah. Like I've seen 3 more after that happened in my class, and I was like, dude, what the hell? He's like, this is my second one that happened. I was like, Jesus. So either way, to get that out, we had to like somehow get pliers in there, twist it to unlock it, and then pull it out. And it still had a spent casing stuck in there.
Yeah.
So luckily it wasn't a live round, which would have been interesting, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. But it was a good learning moment, but it took some time out of class. But everybody was like, well, now I know how to fix that if we have it. I'm like, yes. throw the gun now.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
a club.
Battlefield pickup.
oh dude, it was pretty bad. I was like, wow, I've never seen that before. I think I posted it too, where he was like moving the charging handle and you just see the bolt carrier move, but the bolt stays in. Well, half of it stays in.
That reminds me of that malfunction that you got in the bruisers class, where your spent round fell back into the mag and like remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a picture of it. It's really hard to explain, but his shit was moving really slow and it needed some lube.
We need,
And it looked like it like when it extracted, because it was moving so slow, it didn't throw the casing out.
It just rolled in there.
It like rolled in there, and then the bolt went over it.
and loaded the magazine back with the brass. And I was just like, okay.
That's kind of cool.
Because I shot it and I was like, hey, somebody watch. Because somebody
Take a look at this.
Somebody watch my gun action.
His bolt went like, or his like,
yeah.
and it like literally like paused and like, and it was like, we need some oil on that.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. I mean, it was just because it was suppressed and
Yeah. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
But I'll find the picture and show you. But I was like, that's the only thing that makes sense, that it like just
It like rolled in and just sat.
yeah,
and
just the bolt went right over it and basically loaded.
And I wouldn't have believed myself had I not called him and Josh over like previously and said, hey, watch my gun. It feels funny. Click. And then or I go boom. And it's just like,
What's going on here?
Am I in slow mo now?
I mean, your gun was probably a really soft shooter. At that
it was.
Oh, his
it was-
gun is extremely sharp.
dwell time was really high.
it was weird, but yeah, we've got it interesting.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
No,
Yeah, that was a first.
I just had Joe in my class in Oregon.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And he came by and he was like, let me jump on that. And I was like, come on over. Cause he'd never done one of my rifle classes. And that silly goose came with a 308 in some funky gun. And I think it was, what was it? A G3 or something?
Yeah.
And hilarious. Like a shortened G3 and 308. And he had a blast doing it. It was a good time. Everybody was like, ooh, let us try. And had fun, like, playing with him with different rifles, and then the next day he brought like 7 different rifles, and they shot an AK for the rest of the time. It was a good time. It was kind of cool to, like, he was just shaking things out with them and just enjoying himself while he's trying to learn how to shoot these things better. It was good. It was I had him in a pistol class last year or the year before, something like that, and it's always good having him on the range. He's fun. He's a like, he just adds to the class, if that makes sense. Like tomorrow, I should have Will Berry from OTG. He'll be there, so he'll come to class.
Oh yeah,
to class.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to have him. Like, if he wants to add input, I'm always down for that. Like, as a teacher, I think that's like better for the students. Like, instead of me being like, "Shut up, bro, it's my class," like some people would. I like to like encourage them. That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's literally a casing in your
Can you
mask.
send that to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to put a
Yeah.
Did you guys get video of it?
No video. She just pulled it out, and I was like,
Because I was looking at it like,
you don't shoot bullets that way.
He's like, how did the bullet shoot out of the casing but it's still in the mag? Like,
You're like doing that math.
the maths was not working out. So
I'm gonna turn down the AC quick.
yeah, take Will to a steak restaurant. Go take him out to dinner tomorrow night, and then let him order for you.
Okay.
Like, it's worth your
Does he
investment.
order good?
He's a connoisseur when it comes to
savant.
Actually, so I did a class that they had down in Dilley. I came out for it and did their class, and he was grilling steaks. And he was like, how do you want your steak? I'm like, I don't know. I'm retarded when it comes to food. I'm just like, does it give me nutrition? That's good enough, right? Like, I'm not super picky. And he's like, I got you, fam. And he's like doing all sorts of magic in the kitchen, comes out, grills it, he hands it to me. He's like, just enjoy. And I was like, all right. It was amazing.
You're like, where's the ketchup?
Honestly, like, if I would have said that, I think he would have punched me in the face.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
I think he would have been very upset, offended.
I know Will? Have I ever met Will?
I had dinner with him at TTPOA 2 or 3 years ago at the Suns.
He's good
with the
peeps.
Suns guys, and like, he literally was like sitting in the middle. It was like all the owners were down in there at that end of the table, and then just all the minions were down here at this end of the table. And so we were talking steak, but Will just was like gave us a whole class on like the different ways. And I'd like never heard somebody order a steak like that. I thought I was kind of fancy, but obviously I am not. And the waiter's like, okay, and just wrote it all down. I was like, cool. And he came back in and explained it all. It was pretty cool.
Did it come out in like a boat or something, or like something fancy? Or
No, it was just the way they cooked it, I guess.
no plate with the little cover on it?
Sprinkle of salt.
Yes.
Just-
Like what's that one in Vegas where it's like they got like a whole like box, like it's like lights up. They got like sparklers and stuff. They come out there and like dance and stuff.
What?
We should go there though.
Well, if you guys do, let me know when we're there. 'Cause that sounds cool to me.
the
Sparklers, love
Yeah,
sparklers.
they got sparklers are like dancing. It's like all
Love
little
steak.
parties.
Love steak.
Love dancers.
I'm down with dancers. Yeah. Like, I think this sounds like a good call.
what other classes have you taken this past year with other instructors since we're on that topic?
Let's see. So in January, I did. Okay, I can't remember. In February, though, I went to Santa Barbara. Joe had 4 days out there. He did a precision rifle and a scope carbine. After that, I did a pistol course with, I want to say it was a night vision course with JBS and with TapRack. Their fused course, I forget what they call it. It's like something awesomeness or something like that, which was super fun. The students there were like, what's Duffy doing here? Because he does night vision stuff. And I was just enjoying myself. I was having a good time. I learned some new things. It was awesome. But giving Mark and Bill feedback on their class to help them make it better. And because we're all friends, why not? And then the students got a third instructor without having to pay more. You know, like I was there to help out and do certain things too, even though I was a paid student. And because that to me is fun. I still enjoy teaching. Like it's not a chore or a job to me. It's actual passion and enjoyment. So teaching people things is a lot of fun. I like that feeling I get from that dopamine effect. But let's see. After that, I'll have to go back to my calendar. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it all kind of runs together.
there's been a couple. Yeah. And there's a couple law enforcement ones I went to. And then like a couple where it was federal law enforcement that I had taught them previously. They had some kind of class and they were like, you want to come? And I was like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You guys providing ammo? Yeah. So it works out. And then I take home ammo. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's I go there, get some and leave with more. So it's I every time I get to take advantage of those kind of things, I try to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and other than that, my schedule's been pretty packed. So still kind of pushing along, and I've only had to reschedule a couple things this year since we've had like a kind of a slow year in the training industry.
Yeah.
I think in our industry in
I
general,
think everywhere's having a
Everything
slow
is-
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everywhere's having a slow year.
which is not too bad. I mean, luckily I have a full class for your guys' place, which is cool. Nice. So that was awesome. I forget her Tara.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a good job like pushing it out there to your customers and stuff like that. It was very nice.
She's great.
So she did a good job with that. So I give her a high five or whatever. Pay her like normal.
We'll make sure she gets a paycheck this year.
She'll get a paycheck. But yeah, she did a good job like marketing it so that like I could fill it up and stuff. And that's always helpful when the host can also push the information out there to like get people to come to class. So that's sometimes one of the hard parts is like the host is just like another dude that just wants to learn and he doesn't know how to like push those things out. So you have to do it all. And as a teacher, if you don't have any kind of like presence in that area, it's really difficult to fill up a class. But sometimes it works out nicely. So, yeah, other than that, I have a few other classes I'm going to go to this year. I have a couple, I'm definitely going to another Frank class, like Frank Proctor. So I'm going to go up to him, which isn't too far for me because now I live in northern Florida. So to go to Alabama isn't too bad, where it used to be like 9 hours of driving. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, I probably have the least amount of classes I'll do this year than I usually do. And then at Symposium, I always go to other people's classes too, as you guys both know. So I'm always hopping in people's classes because I teach at night. So during the day, free game.
So what's currently your most popular class that you're teaching?
My night vision class.
Yeah.
So my night vision 1 is probably the most popular one. I think it's just because that's what most people know me for. And then And then out of the tactics classes, my weaponized geometry one. So that one is pretty popular because people realize like, oh, I may not ever work in a team, so I may have to work by myself. How do I do that? And there's various ways to, and there's safe and unsafe ways. So it's actually a fun class. It's also force on force. So you get to kind of test your gusto.
Yeah.
A lot of people go there and they're like, wow, I don't know how to shoot when somebody's trying to hurt me. And it's like, awesome. That's a good thing to learn here instead of like in real life when your life's at stake or somebody's life is at stake, right? Somebody that you may actually hurt and not even know you did. So, yeah, like it's actually pretty cool class. I get a lot of guys that get like big eye openers and they end up like, John, how do I practice this stuff? And it's something I bring up in all my classes for the most part. I always tell people how to take notes at the beginning because people don't know how to take notes in class sometimes because they're like, oh, I'm busy looking at things and shooting and I forgot my notebook back there or whatever. And I usually tell them like in their notebook or on their phone, like the first page or the first like section should all be just bullet points. Like put the title of the class, the date, and then bullet points. And all those things, or those bullet points should be filled in as things that you suck at, right? Like, or you did poorly in class with, or you need more work with, right? And if you did that on the first page of your notes, by the end of the 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever you have now a page of things that you can take to the range and go practice, right? Or you can ask more specific questions to a teacher, like when people message me on Instagram or put a comment in a video or whatever. They're like, hey, John, what drill should I do? I'm like, I don't know.
What do you suck at?
I don't know who you are, man. Like, I have no idea what drill you should do, right? But if you said like, hey, I suck at this, what should I do to work on this? Now I can help you. Like now I'm going to make a video. I'm going to send it to you. I'll probably put it up on the alumni page, all sorts of stuff and try to help you out because now you have a specific thing that you know you need to work on and you described it to me or you gave me the thing that you're looking at trying to work on. And now I can actually help you get there versus the other way around where it's just like a drill, like drills aren't going to get you there if you're not specifically looking for something out of it. So it's interesting. But that's what I started doing notes for students because that's how I take my notes. Like when I go to class, it's just bullet points, and those bullet points are just an easy way of getting everything you suck at or everything you need to work on, things like that. So maybe useful.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So
I took some pretty decent notes at Joe's class this year. We did precision rifle or scope carbine and precision rifle this year. And last year we did just scope carbine. I need to actually call him next week and get him back on the schedule again.
Yeah.
But that was like at that point, it was like, okay, now I figured out, how to do speed drop. Okay. Now I figured out how to do speed wind. Now I know, okay, this, following up more on, now it's learning to call wind, like I can do the easy math all day long now. Now it's just be like, okay, it feels like it's like this here. It looks like it's doing that out there. Hold left edge just in it,
Well, see, so that's actually something funny. I used to do that. I used to be like, I'll just hold edge, like right or left edge, whatever I'm feeling. And I was told by somebody, I want to say it was probably the dudes from Modern Day Sniper, like Kalen or Phil Vallejo, one of those two, said it to me. They were like, hey, instead of just holding the edge, look at what you're like the hold on the mills or MOA if you're using MOA. But I was using mills. See what mills you're holding, because then you can start to learn what that looks like or feels like. And now you can be like, all right, that's going to definitely be a 0.4 mil hold. Yeah. Like now I know what to hold instead of just like side of the plate. Because side of the plate's definitely like how I started. Like straight up, I was like, best guess, side of plate, and just go to the edge. And I miss my first shot and have to make my correction, and then or hit it and get lucky on the edge or on the other edge. So instead of doing that, I started looking at like what I was holding, and it takes a little bit more brain power, and like over time you'll get a little bit more used to it. But if you make a conscious effort to actually like look at what you're holding, you'll get so much better at it because you're gonna be like, oh, dude, I've seen this before, and you have that like drop down menu of experience. You're like, it's definitely going to be 0.4. Like, or nah, that's going to be 1.1. You know, like that's going to be a huge hold. So now I know based off of like what I'm seeing, instead of just let me throw a, you know,
throw one
a
out.
shaker out, to check it out. You know, like here's $1 berm. You know?
And one of the nice things about shooting down there at the ranch is I've not been down there where I didn't have wind.
It's
Of some sort.
pretty decent.
And I also didn't have 2 different winds.
Yeah, that's the thing that's cool about the ranch. Like, you have different wind, like at different distances.
Yeah.
You know, the cuts that they have, you know, it kind of channels it and stuff. So you get better at wind calling down there.
Yeah.
I still suck at it, but it's better learning there than, you know, some places.
Yeah. I took my buddy, one of my buddies down there a couple weeks ago, and he'd never shot. Like he'd been in the military. He's been a police officer for 20 something years at this point, and he'd never shot anything out past 300 meters.
Poor soul.
Before. I'm like, all right, here we go. Get behind my gun. All right, these are where these dots are. Okay, cool. Just hold here all the way out to 3. Okay, cool. You're on at 3. I was like, okay, you see the little target to the right? And it's like, yeah, okay, that's a 1 MOA target at 300 yards. You can hit it. And he hit it. He's like, I'm like, all right, hold here at 4. Hold here at 5. Got him all the way out to 7. And he's just like, is it really this easy? No, it's not this easy, but yes, it is.
It kind of is, right? Like you have a ruler in the scope for you. One of the things I did in most of my night vision classes, whenever I have the range to do it, like I had one out in Oregon, and the range goes out to 350. And I had all the dudes, after we zeroed with lasers on, they all stood up at the starting of the range. So we had all 350 yards, and we shot at 50, 100, 150, 200, 253, and so on. And I think it was like 5 guys from Hawaii that were there. And they're like, dude, we've never shot past 25. This was amazing. And I'm like, and you did it standing up with the laser in the dark under nods. Like, and they're like, how? I'm like, it's not that difficult. Just hold the gun still, pull the trigger without moving the gun. So that's it. And it's actually really cool. Like I love when I can take somebody and like do something that they've never experienced before, because they get all fucking giddy and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. That's awesome. Always amazing.
I don't think I've shot steel out past like 3 or 4 with nods.
You could do it.
Oh, I'm absolutely. I know it could. I've just never
I
had
believe
the
in you.
opportunity to do it.
What are you doing this weekend?
Let's go.
So the other thing you could do too, is and this is something that a lot of people don't know, is like magnifiers under night vision. They work super well. So you just have to change your diopter, the little adjustment on the back end. If you change it slightly for your night vision, you can actually mark it for night vision, mark it for daytime. That's what I have. I have 2 markings on mine, so I can move it back and forth based off what I'm doing. But under night vision, you could use it for observation, but you could also use it for PID at different distances. You could use it for shooting at different distances. So under night vision, using my laser as an illuminator, I was able to shoot out to 6 something one time with my magnifier, just sitting there and shooting. It was awesome.
So you're looking through your magnifier, through your optic,
with my night vision.
with your knife. That's so many lenses.
It is, but it
so
works.
many different lenses.
It works so well.
What do you think? Let's get on the night vision subject here.
Yeah. Aren't we on it?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. What are you currently using?
So a bunch of things. So I have some DTMVSs, their original like auto gain ones. I have the manual gain ones that they sent me. So I've been using those so that I can adjust it. And then I have some 1431s that have some of the L3 super gain tubes in them. And I have RNVGs that I use every once in a while. And I still have a set of DTMVGs that are like old-fashioned one, or the older version of the DTMVSs, like my original DTMVGs. And then I also have a bunch of 14s, like 2 or 3 of them. I think 2 or 3 of them. But I only use those for really filming or like walking around, like hiking kind of things. Yeah. But and then I have a few clip-on night vision devices. But yeah, I kind of fluctuate between them all. Most of them I use for like rentals. So students that don't have night vision and are curious and want to learn before they buy things, they can come to class and they can actually rent night vision and not spend thousands of dollars versus or they get to spend a little bit less, so they can kind of learn about it before they make a bad choice or make a choice and are unhappy with it because they didn't expect or know what to expect. So that's been pretty fun.
What's the hotness for lasers right now? Like what are...
I think there's a few, right? And I think it has to go with budget and also like how much you care, right? Like what your intended use is. But the Maul is still pretty popular. I see those a lot in class. The Raids, because now they're getting out on the market, are huge. The XEs. I still have a Raid X, like the old one, and I love that thing. It's still a great laser. I see more Engals now, like more of them are getting on the gray market. So that's kind of cool. Surprisingly, I see a lot of the Somo lasers. And people had to modify them slightly sometimes to make them like keep zero, like shave off a little, like over portions of the plastic that are too much. But once they get them on there and they stay, they've been okay. They're just not waterproof. So they're not, it's not potted electronics. So, be careful of that, I guess. What else? I've been seeing the Arisaka laser. What is it? The 3IR or DIR or something like that. And then all the normal guys. So the D-balls and stuff like that, those are probably the most popular ones because they're like the least expensive for people to buy. I'd still stay away from like the D-ball I2. The I2 is just bottom of the barrel. Like you're playing with fire kind of thing. Like they break. Almost every single class that I have with somebody with one, I have to give them a spare laser because they break theirs. It's very fragile.
How are the Holosun ones?
The LS321G is actually one I use for rentals. So the three of them that I've had have had, I don't know how many students playing with them, messing with them, dialing them, putting them on and off rifles and whatevering them, and they've been great. So I've been pretty impressed with them. They just don't put out a lot of like illumination. Yeah. So the laser's great on it. Like you see that thing forever, but the actual illuminator's troublesome. Yeah. Like it's just not.
It's the same thing with D-balls too.
Yeah, it's all the Civi lasers are going to have that kind of issue. But that's where like the only Civi laser that doesn't is them all. And I think the Raid civilian model, I don't know if it's even out yet. I got to look. But that one I assume is going to have a decent laser because it's also using Vexel. But we'll see.
That's the Wilcox one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've only seen the full power ones that people have gotten their hands on versus I don't think I've even seen a civilian one yet.
Have you seen any of the EOTechs? In the new ones?
I haven't seen any of those in the wild. I saw one at SHOT Show last year and then this year. But I still haven't seen one out like being used by anybody. So I think they only have either like just the model of it out in the wild, like for people to like do things with or show pictures and stuff. I haven't seen one like functional, or a functional one being used. So I don't know what they're up to with that, but I'm sure it's a lot of work with dealing with the FDA and other things too. So this isn't food. We'll put this at the end of the line. Yeah. They haven't paid us off. Let's put it at the end of the line. So something like that.
I'll have to check out the Arisaka one. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen one of those in person.
It's not bad. It's got a really, really good button. I love the button on that thing. It's just like it almost feels like a good tail cap on a flashlight. Nice. But it's obviously upright. It's not on the back.
I don't know if I've seen it yet either.
I saw them on the price list. Will when they came out, Will emailed me about them from Arisaka, and I looked at them. It was when I was briefly, oh, cool. I should check that out.
Yeah, they have 3 models. Yep. So I have the one that's IR, Viz, and with an illuminator. And the only thing I don't like about it is that the illuminator doesn't have any adjustment. So it is the diameter it is, and that's it. So it doesn't you can't make it or shrink the diameter to it or the circumference to it, or expand it like you can on most lasers.
So you have the designate IRV, I believe. That's right.
What's the price point on those? Since you
Two
have full-
grand.
2K, yeah, something like that.
$1,999.
99 cents.
Zeros.
Oh, 0 cents. Oh, wow. Shit.
Saving.
Under two-
But you can get them in OD green.
Oh.
Yeah, you can get them in
Let
all.
me see what it looks like.
It's like, oh, geez,
They're actually really low to the rail too.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is something
It
kind
looks
of
like
cool.
most of the mass is like kind of off to the sides.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not
I've
even
seen that. I didn't know that was Arisaka.
Yeah, it's super lightweight.
Oh.
It's a I forget who made the original one because that's not the original laser. Arisaka just made it better.
Yeah.
But there was there was a different one, and I forget who made it. But either way, it's actually been a pretty decent laser. It's not like the end all be all, but I would take it over like a civilian PEC, like the APLC.
Yeah.
By far. I may even take it over a D-ball A3 with like the civilian model, because both those illuminators on those lasers kind of blow, where this one kind of blows it out of the water. So it's kind of nice. But once again, you can't adjust it. So it's a very, I think it's only 3 settings. You get Viz laser, you get IR laser, and IR laser with IR illuminator, and that's it. Just super simple.
Pretty simple.
Where then you have like on the opposite spectrum of simplicity is you have the raids. That's like you have 15 laser settings, and you can set the brightness however you want, and the illuminator's got 15 settings. So you're like, Jesus. So there's a lot, but depends on how invested you are in like using it and what environments you're going to use it and stuff like that.
Interesting. See, if you've stuck around through the talk about iguanas and steak, you get good information.
We get some good
4 minutes of good information in an hour.
Only 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
The rest is just crazy ranting
That's cool.
and bad grammar.
Have you? Now, I got in a conversation with one of our reps, and because they're coming out with the different night vision that, like, I'm not a night vision guy other than like what I've had experience with, which is like PVS 14s. It was like the pinnacle of my experience.
It's the Honda Civic Glock 19 of night vision,
right.
so it ain't bad.
Tubes versus
Housings.
digital screens, right? So like that's the future, right? This supposedly
It's been the future for the last 10 years.
right. Are you seeing more dudes roll in with?
No. Most guys don't show up with digital night vision, mainly because there's no good digital night vision yet. Only because when you go digital, you have a digital screen, and that digital screen has a refresh, like kind of like thermals,
Right.
So exactly like thermals, kind of
similar, you know.
same but different. And the refresh rate when moving your head around is really atrocious. So if I have a Psionics camera, but that's what it is. It's a night vision camera. I wouldn't consider it night vision, which they're probably going to get upset with me again. They sent me a worded email about saying that out loud, but it's true, man. And that's the way I do things is I just speak the truth and make it actual night vision, and we'll be on the same train, dude. But those cameras, although really cool for filming stuff, and they give you some form or remnants of colors and stuff like that. Honestly, they're too slow with the refresh.
Right.
And there's ways to take the Wi-Fi off and lower its output so that you can actually get some kind of movement with it. But it's still like I would consider it like more towards airsoft grade, if anything, versus actual use. Right now the big push is fusion, so fusing thermal and night vision together, and which is awesome, and it's actually getting easier for us as human beings to get it. Not actual fusion goggles, because those still cost like really nice truck worthy like money, like in the $60K kind of area, but using clip-on thermals.
Yeah.
So there's the E-Cody. There was a Cody prior to that. Those are both pretty expensive, but the new one, I can't remember the dang nomenclature, but TNVC just put it out. and it is like a civilian version of the E-Cody that's actually performs better, and it just doesn't have the ATACs and like all that BS thrown in there. So you can actually do all the same things, but for less money and better performance now. And it's actually a smaller and lighter package. So that just got put out. I think they're doing the pre-orders on TNVC, but those things are gonna be awesome. The one I got to play with for a little bit was amazing. So I'm on that list to get one because I want it. Yeah. But fusion with your night vision is going to be really cool. For you guys out here, like in Texas, you do hunting under night vision all the time, like we do in Florida for the piggies. You guys got coyotes and stuff. We don't have coyotes, but we got piggies. And dude, thermal's huge for like identifying, like actually seeing what's out there and spotting things. And then from there going under night vision, confirming it is a pig or a coyote or whatever, not somebody's dog, and then killing it from there is amazing. It's super easy. It's like shooting pigs in a barrel. Yeah. So it's kind of nice, but highly recommended if you're doing some piggy stuff.
It's crazy seeing like the stuff in Ukraine with the thermal and the night vision, that like the videos that are getting released. It's like, that's scary.
Super scary.
Yeah.
Like super scary. I'm glad my era in the military was against sand people. So it worked out.
Yeah. Like I can't even, I watched that one clip this weekend where the dudes are like hiding in the bushes from the drone, and you can hear the drone on the video, and they're just like freaking out about it, and like it gets them. You know, or it gets one of them, the dude takes off running, and I'm just like, dude, like, I can't even imagine, like...
Honestly, that's where the shotgun comes in, boys. like it's skeet shooting time.
Yeah.
Watching dudes drop a grenade through an open hatch.
Scary.
Yeah.
They used to do that overseas in the sand people land, too. They would drop them off like overpasses and stuff.
Yeah, off over buildings, but you're like, all right, button up.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like,
but not in the middle of nowhere.
Like, just sitting there chilling. No.
Yeah.
Like, hatch pop, just chilling.
Thank God they were so stupid they didn't get that far. Like, not yet, at least. Apparently it did, finally. And, like, outside of Israel, right? But before that, they weren't really using drones or anything. They didn't have access to it. So it's kind of nice. But yeah.
Spooky.
But thermal's definitely a thing. But I think that's why the digital stuff hasn't like exploded or been taken further yet, because most people are trying to blend thermal and night vision right now versus just do one thing. And also honestly, analog night vision, which is what we're all using, like the intensifier tubes, those are just getting better and better. So like, for example, L3, they're able to produce such good night vision tubes now, and in quantities that people can get their hands on, versus like we made a batch of like, let's say 100, right? But only 2 of them are amazing. Everything else is trash, or like 30% of them are literal, like those we can use. And then like the rest 70% we have to like recycle and do it again. And that's how it used to be. And now it's gotten so good that it's a huge, like 98% or whatever they calling it, is going to be like what we can actually use. And there's still a small percentage of like unobtainable night vision that's like, geez, these are amazing, but they're being saved for certain peoples.
Yeah.
But that's the cool part about it. They've just refined their manufacturing process so well that we're able to get night vision that is pretty dang good.
That's probably my next big purchase after I build all the guns that I currently have parts for. Yeah.
And then sell them so you have night vision money.
I saw a Staccato for night vision.
There you go.
It's like, fuck it.
Honestly,
that little set of 14.
Yeah,
I need a PVS 14J arm so I can run like a Wilcox.
We could probably get you one.
I probably
Noise fighters,
have
dude.
one at home.
I want the Wilcox J arm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the. Yeah.
Mine's got bodies on it, dude. Like, come on.
he's got little dashes on it.
Little notches cut out in his Halter J arm.
That's what he was using. Yeah. His replaceable J arm that's supposed to be a disposable item.
His Rhino mount.
Like so much stuff that's just like in a box at home. And it's like, I don't want to throw it away because there's memories there.
I'm actually very little sentimental stuff that I kept. I'm like, man, this just sits in a container. If I could put it in like a shadow box, I'll keep it. But otherwise,
Put my J arm in a shadow box.
do it, bro. I have a spent
little plaque underneath it. Yeah.
I have a spent banger, my first one I ever threw in country,
Yeah.
and I had picked it up when we were there.
retrieved it?
We were doing SSE and stuff, and like we're supposed to pick up those kind of things, if you can, right? And I picked mine up, and I was like, in my cargo pocket, and I kept it, and I still have it. It sits on top of my shadow box and stuff. It's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Nice little memorabilia kind of thing. But that's where like I go with it. I don't go crazy. Like I'm pretty sure I still have a couple J arms and rhino mounts, but they're probably in a container, not ever going to be seen again by any night vision.
I pulled out not that I would keep it at all, but I have the woodland camouflage OTV outer vest, the outer
Okay.
the shell, because we were in country and they're like, okay, here's whatever color that they were replacing with, whether it was DCU or it could have been the ACU color. Yeah, the horrible camo pattern. But it was one of those like,
couch.
'cause we had to switch. We just got the cover. You didn't get a whole new one. You just got the cover to it, and you had to put all the inserts back inside of it.
Which were already expired anyways.
Oh yeah. But it's a woodland camo with a desert color name tag and desert color rank.
That's
on
actually
it.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
You should definitely go play airsoft and wear that.
Yeah, it won't fit me anymore.
I'm sure the sides open up, dude.
Small. Way tiny.
You were like what, 150 pounds at the time?
I'm 165.
Dang, girl. Well,
Yeah.
we grow.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, the little memorabilia stuff's always good. Why not? But yeah, if you need a J-arm, dude, Noise Fighter makes that little really inexpensive one. They make a plastic one or whatever they use for it, and a metal one, which are both good. I've played with both of them. I have both of them, so I use them for my 14s. The Wilcox one's not bad. It's just more expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very expensive. Like it's like
Everything Wilcox is.
yeah. Well,
We know.
but I mean, like even in like relation to like was it G24 or
Yeah.
like even in relation to that, I remember it being pretty close to that.
Yeah, everything Wilcox is expensive. I think that's what it stands for, is like, we will take your cock. Like that's how expensive it is. Like it's gonna cost you a cock.
Or at least a kidney.
That's cock with an X.
Do we have you on the schedule for a night vision class at the range?
No, but I do have one at the ranch.
You have one at the ranch coming up?
Yeah.
Do you know the dates off that? Top of your head?
January.
Okay.
Usually January is. I went there this year, January, and I think next year. Look at the calendar.
You don't want to be at the ranch in July.
Yeah, no.
It's a little hot.
That sounds miserable. Yeah, January 4 or 5. Literally the first class of the year.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I usually save that spot for the ranch.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple classes in Dilley also. So the other
ranch.
All the ranches in Texas. Come on,
I'm
guys.
surprised there's only 2 so far. Like
I'm sure there's a couple we don't know about.
The funny thing is, I have
Bill's the ranch.
I have Chad's and Matt's information on my phone, and they're both, one's Matt Ranch Eagle Lake, and one's Chad Ranch
Dilley.
other ranch.
Dilley. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to specify like on the schedule. It's like, all right, Dilley, Texas, Eagle Lake, Texas.
Yeah.
You've got it like 7 times in the course description. This is not at Eagle Lake.
Actually, I think next year I'm coming to Texas a lot. Actually, I think I have like 4 or 5 classes here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, which is exciting. I need to get one in Dallas. I never go up there for classes, and that would be a direct flight for me versus a connecting flight. So it'd be nice.
You
But
can't get a direct flight to Houston.
not out of Florida. Well, I fly American.
Oh.
So
you're one of those.
Yeah. Oh,
Who
no.
hurt you?
I actually, South Florida hurt me. But yeah, either way, like coming out of South Florida, if you take Delta, you have to stop in Atlanta, and
Yeah, everything goes there.
yeah, or with American, I have to stop in Charlotte or Dallas, depending on which direction I'm going. So it don't matter. I have a connection either way coming out of Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's actually not too bad. But I've been looking at like ways to get like Delta status as high as I have American status. Because when I go on American, they like put out the red carpet. They're like, welcome. You're like a pharaoh, right? And you walk on, you're like, water this, you know. But then I get on a Delta flight, and they're like, get in the back, peasant. It's like, what is this? On the other airline, they treat me great. They're like, but this isn't the other airline. Like,
You're in Delta territory, bitch.
Poor people.
get to the back. We're wearing purple.
Exhaust.
Oh.
Yeah, diesel.
Somebody's sexy truck outside.
Somebody's. You just, every once in a while, you should just fly Spirit so you understand.
Chris flew Spirit to fucking Vegas this year. I was like,
It was phenomenal.
like, good luck, brother.
It was phenomenal.
At least you made it.
Our first SHOT Show, we flew Spirit.
Did you?
Yeah, on the way back, we spent like 2 hours on the on the runway waiting to go to our gate. Sean Cody was on that flight too, the Houston gun trust lawyer guy. Yeah, come to find out. But yeah, that was our first time. We're like, oh, we're gonna save so much money. We're gonna fly Spirit. It's gonna be great. It's like 2016 or something. Then like, oh, you want a seat? Okay, that's an extra $50. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't want to sit on the floor, but you can't sit on the floor.
You gotta hold these chickens. What?
I think myself and the guys' flight to Vegas this year for SHOT Show, we flew Southwest. It was direct flight. It was early. There was like 12 people on the plane. And
Yeah, they had their own
and we were like 5 of the 12, and they got on there like, literally sit wherever you want, like we don't care. So like the 5 of us went to the back of the plane and just hung out with the flight attendant the whole time.
Nice.
And he's like, I was joking with him, he's like, hey, you want to make the like welcome to Vegas call? And I like pussied out. I was like, no, I can't do that. Yeah. I was
You
like,
could have said all sorts of stuff.
yeah,
on
I just
there.
didn't want to get the dude in trouble or
That's awesome.
get
what you
tackled by
should've
the FAA.
like everyone's on there. Everybody's got like their own row or whatever. Probably like 10 rows in between everybody.
Yeah.
You'd be like the one guy like at the urinal that like comes up and just like sits right next to somebody. There's like 98 empty seats, and you choose the one.
Choose the seat next to them. You choose the middle seat next to them.
It was great. We literally it was a big ass plane, and we just went in the back, thought we were the cool kids in high school, and went back to the plane.
The school bus. We just don't realize we have to walk 100 yards to get to the front.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, it's all good. I mean, that's always nice when like you get those seats. It's a good time.
You could have had like every shoe could have been in a different row.
That's awesome. I'm
Going
surprised
out to Utah, like the flight was almost all the way full. I think the middle seat was empty on my row. I think it was the only empty seat on the plane.
Nice.
But the middle seat was empty. I had the aisle. Other dude had the window. It was
Nice.
great.
Nice. That's
Never
good.
had that happen before, or very rarely.
That happened a lot during COVID.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, that was like. I mean, you
It
had.
became like a standard too.
Yeah. You just like have your own freaking row. It was awesome.
Yeah, because most people weren't flying and stuff.
Yeah. And flights were super, super cheap. Like stupid cheap.
Yeah. I got spoiled a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to fly first class to New York? $200.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'll take
Hey, we'll pay you $50 if you just come.
We'll give you
fly,
credit.
please.
Just come to the front, make us look full. But no, it during COVID, like everything shut down, right? And then like April came around, and I was like, classes were just starting right back up, and Florida opened up again, so we weren't shut down for very long. And they were like, and all my flights, I was like, wow, this is super nice. There's like nobody here. It was a damn good time. I liked flying like that. It was like flying private almost.
Yeah, it was cool. We took a couple flights. I think you were with me.
Yeah. During COVID is one of the years that I like flew the most. We flew a couple places for here. I went home a few times.
Get all the miles.
Got married. Yeah, we have status on Delta and United, so it's fun.
Yeah, if I can take a Delta flight, I do, because I've got like really good status with them. But most everything from here is United. Like, so United's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm climbing up the ladder with them.
Got to get there.
Yeah.
Something. Get the credit cards usually. Like that's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you got coming up? Do you have anything new that you're adding to the schedule this year?
Yes. So actually, this year was the first time we did it. In March, Brian Valise from SlyTac Training and myself, we
Has
did.
he been on the podcast before?
If he hasn't, you guys should put him on. It's super fun.
Is he coming up
He's a
this
good
weekend,
dude.
or is he not?
No, he's not coming to this class. But if you guys make it down to like the Dilley classes, usually he'll come out for those because he's pretty close. He's like an hour away from there.
Yeah.
Or 2 hours, something like that. He's all the way down on the border.
Yeah,
like,
he's basically in Mexico.
yeah, he's basically a Mexican.
Yeah.
He is. Valise. It's not Valizo. So, but you guys are gonna have to edit all that out.
Staying in.
Just leave it. See what happens.
Brian.
I'm going to text him right now.
You should. He's such a.
Hey, Brian,
he's good.
watch the end of the episode.
We're telling jokes about you right now.
Only watch this part. But no, but him and I are teaching a class that we're doing, I think 3 or 4 times next year, called Skills on Demand. And the first day is I'm in the morning. It's a super long day, by the way, but it's like a 16-hour training day. It's super long. So the first half of the day is with me, learning more of like performance-based shooting / defensive-based shooting, if you want to call it. I call it offensive-based shooting, period. Like it's just shooting. And then instead of lunch, we don't take a lunch break, even though we kind of are eating. We do medical. And then in the afternoon, he does his injured shooter stuff. So like all sorts of stuff that you do with guns injured. And then the next day we do what would be like building tactics with 1 and 2 people. And then the third day is all scenarios, and we blend everything. And it's like literally come here and let's see what your skills are, kind of thing. And it's a ton of fun. We had 1 or 2 guys that had never done a class before, period. They were just like self-taught, and they came to that and they're like, we definitely should have taken a class. This was a lot. And it was just 3 really long days. I think each day was the first day was like 16 hours, I think. And the second 2 days were a little over 10 or 11 hours.
A lot of hours.
Yeah, they got a lot out of it. And of course, like I had Sam Houston from Green Line Tactical and Don Edwards. They came,
nice.
And so it was another like 2 other instructors in the class. It was super fun. It was a dang good time. And we did it at Dilley, so we could all sleep on the premises.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was a good 3 days of training and weekend kind of thing with all the dudes.
Will you be down in Dilley for their night vision summit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm teaching it.
Yep.
I'm teaching at. I think I've taught at every night op summit.
Okay.
Which is also a really good time. I actually have a class before that the weekend prior, so I'll have my night vision class, and then I'll be there for a couple days, like I don't know, twiddling my thumbs. I'm probably just gonna film stuff and like get some range time in by myself and like practice and things. So if you guys want to come and shoot, and then whatchamacallit, we're gonna do, and then I'll be there for the night op summit.
Yeah, we need to. We talked about getting with Don for that. We need to get with them and set up down there for the event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good time. And then and like they have night vision rentals too. Like Don and Sam have, I think, like 12 sets of night vision for rent. So if dudes don't have it, they can still come to the event. And the event also has, like, if you're not into night vision, you're like, that's out of my budget, I'll never do that, and you don't even want to try, kind of thing, rock on. You do you. But there's a bunch of low light stuff. So it's all nighttime stuff in general. So there's white light classes and stuff like that. So it should be a damn good time. It's at Dilley. So not only is there like just regular range classes, but there's a long like scope carbine kind of course under night vision with clip-ons, and L3 provides all the clip-ons, so you don't even have to have one.
Oh, wow. Sick.
They just like literally like
show up with like
you get
$250,000.
you get a clip-on. You get a clip-on. And they just show up with a box and hand it to the teacher for that class is Eric Vargas. And Vargas and I actually spent time in the military together, so we were actually in the same company in Ranger Battalion.
Nice.
So it's actually really cool. Like when Don got linked up with him, he's like, "Yeah, I met this little Ranger. His name's Eric Vargas. He said he knew you." I was like, oh, "Wait, is it that dude?" And then I was like, "Cool. Like, no shit, little world." But he's teaching that, and he's a world-class sniper. Like wins a ton of the military competitions that are out there for sniper stuff. Really good dude. So
cool.
That'll be fun. But yeah, Night Op Summit, it's a damn good time.
Nice.
It's exhausting, but it's a good time.
Definitely have to check your schedule out for Dilley and come down and see you. And if you've listened to us for the last hour and 9 minutes, we appreciate it. Where can people find you, sir?
So my website's probably the best one, kinetic-consulting.net. And that's where I put everything essentially. And all the social medias are linked there. This class schedules like hyperlinks on the first page. You could literally click what you want and it takes you to the page. But yeah, that's pretty much where.
check him out. He's been a guest before. If you don't know him, you should know him. We've got his barrels in stock right now. Got a fresh batch from Roscoe.
Yeah.
Pick it up and like, subscribe, comment, do the thing.
Ian?
Make iron sights great again.
Or not.
Or not.
Ugh, that was a terrible ender.
Okay, redo.
Put cat crap on your optics and night vision and flashlights.
Yeah, change flashlights. Fill up your vehicles before a hurricane.
Yes.
And ensure all your gas cans are topped off despite what you think is going to happen.